There's someone in your life who never talks about money. They don't drive the nicest car. They don't post their trips. They never complain about money. And somehow, unexpected expenses never seem to break them. Here's what most people miss. Wealth rarely looks wealthy. And once you understand why, it changes how you see money completely. Let's get the biggest misconception out of the way first. When you picture a wealthy person, what do you see? Nice car, new phone, expensive vacations, designer something. That's not wealth. That's spending. And the difference between those two things is probably the most important financial distinction most people never actually learn. Here's the thing nobody admits. The people spending the most visibly are often the ones with the least actual wealth underneath it. And the people who look the most ordinary? Sometimes the opposite. We'll get to the data on that. But first, why does this happen at all? Every time you upgrade your lifestyle, your costs go up permanently, but your wealth doesn't. A nicer car doesn't cost you once. It costs you every month. Insurance, maintenance, payments. A bigger house means a bigger mortgage, higher property taxes, higher everything. Better vacations mean a new baseline, and going back feels like losing something. Economists call this lifestyle inflation. And it's the reason people earning 3 times what they did 5 years ago still feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck. Financially secure people understand something most people don't. Every spending upgrade is a commitment. You're not just buying a thing, you're buying a recurring cost. Pound against you the same way investments compound for you. They don't avoid spending because they're miserable. They avoid unnecessary upgrades because they understand what those upgrades actually cost over time. Here's the part nobody talks about. Looking wealthy in America is genuinely expensive. The right zip code, the right car, the right clothes, the right restaurants, the latest iPhone, the Cabo vacation. None of these things build wealth. Every single one of them drains it. And most people doing this aren't doing it because they love those things. They're doing it because they're afraid of what people will think if they don't. That's not a spending problem. That's an anxiety problem being paid for with money. And the research backs this up. Thomas Stanley and William Danko spent years studying actual millionaires for their book, The Millionaire Next Door. And their findings were uncomfortable for a lot of people. The guy pulling up in the new BMW, often carrying more debt than net worth. The one in the 10-year-old F-15, sometimes worth more than anyone at the table realized. People with quiet wealth have made a very specific decision. They've decided that other people's perception of them is not worth funding. That's it. That's the whole thing. It sounds simple. It is not simple, because we're social creatures and we care what people think. Deeply, instinctively. The fear never disappears. They just stop paying for it. Now let's talk about what they actually do, because this isn't just about not spending. It's about where the money goes. First, they protect the gap. Income minus spending equals the gap. And the gap is everything. You can earn a 6-figure salary and have no gap. Plenty of people do. You can earn $50,000 a year and have a consistent gap. And that gap, invested over time, is how ordinary people build real wealth. Every raise, every bonus, every tax refund, a meaningful portion goes somewhere that isn't lifestyle. Not all of it. Just enough to keep the gap intact. That discipline, repeated for years, is the actual mechanism behind most of the financial security you see around you. Second, they invest in things that bore them. When everyone is losing their mind over the next big thing, some crypto play, a hot meme stock, an unmissable opportunity their coworker won't shut up about. Financially resilient people are somewhere else. Index funds, automatic transfers into their 401k or brokerage account, long-time horizons, and then they stop thinking about it. Annual fund performance reports consistently show that over a 20-year period, roughly 85 to 90% of actively managed funds underperform a simple index fund after fees. Not because fund managers are stupid, because the market is brutally hard to beat consistently. There's a widely cited finding in the investment world that the best performing brokerage accounts tend to belong to people who forgot they had one. No trades, no reactions, no panic selling in March 2020. Just time, doing its thing. Their greatest financial threat isn't the market, it's themselves, and they know it. Third, they build a foundation before anything else. 3 to 6 months of expenses, liquid, untouched. Before investments, before anything else. Without this, every financial decision is made under pressure. You can't hold your index funds through a market correction because you might need the cash. You can't leave a bad job because you can't afford the gap. You can't negotiate a raise because walking away isn't really an option. The emergency fund isn't just savings. It's the thing that makes every other good financial decision possible. Fourth, they think in decades. Not months, not years. Decades. And this matters more than almost anything else on this list because it changes the entire frame. Most people look at a $500 monthly habit and think, that's manageable, that's fine. But run that number through 20 years of compound growth at a 7% average annual return, which is roughly what the S&P 500 has delivered after inflation over the long run. And you're not talking about $500 a month anymore. You're talking about somewhere around $260,000 in lost wealth. That's not just money, that's freedom, that's retirement on your terms. When you think in decades, short-term volatility stops being terrifying and starts being irrelevant. The question stops being whether to buy the new thing and becomes what that money looks like in 20 years if you don't. Warren Buffett has said it many ways. The clearest version, the stock market transfers money from the impatient to the patient. People who build quiet wealth are patient. Deliberately, consistently, almost annoyingly patient. I want to be honest with you because this video would be incomplete without this. Living this way has a real cost. When everyone at the table orders without looking at the price and you're quietly doing the math, that's uncomfortable. When your co-workers are talking about their kitchen remodel or their new truck and you're driving something 5 years old, that friction doesn't fully go away. When someone asks where you're vacationing this summer and the honest answer is nowhere, that's a real moment. These people aren't living in some friction-free paradise. They're navigating the same social world as everyone else. They've just accepted a different kind of discomfort. The discomfort of going against the current, in exchange for not carrying the other kind. The living paycheck-to-paycheck anxiety, the credit card balance that never quite goes to zero, the feeling that you're always one bad month away from something going wrong. That's the trade, and everyone in this camp has decided deliberately that it's worth it. So who is the wealthiest person in the room? Probably not the one with the nicest watch. Probably not the one who just upgraded to the bigger house in the better school district. Probably not the one talking about their portfolio the loudest. It's the quiet one. The one who ordered something reasonable, asked a good question, and left without making it a thing. They didn't get there by earning more than everyone else. They got there by making a decision, quietly, without announcing it, about what they actually wanted their money to do. So ask yourself, are you building wealth or performing it? Wealth rarely looks impressive while you're building it. That's exactly why most people miss it. The next video is practical. We're breaking down what the actual month-to-month system looks like, how to build and protect that gap on a normal American income, without overhauling your entire life. Because wealth building is usually boring while you're doing it. Most finance content tells you how to look richer. Here we're more interested in actually becoming richer. If that's what you're after, subscribe. It's free and you won't miss the next one. Drop a comment if something hit you, even just one word. I read every single one. And if this made you think of someone, send it to them. They'll know why. See you in the next one.